We were the anti-nuclear capital of the world. I was an autistic kid. My father was a drafted United States Marine, an incredible man. I come from an incredible family. My uncle stood on Omaha Beach on D-Day. I grew up on a huge ranch out by the lake. He was a beautiful, incredible person. He was at Pendleton, combat ready, and they were human guinea pig. They were marched into the trenches in Nevada. They're called atomic veterans. He nearly died at the blast. Between 1951 and 1968, we had 300 open-air tests. Well, as different scientists started to write about this, Wallace Stegner was at the University of Utah at the time. I got to know him. Edward Abbey was hanging around there. I got to know him. I got to know all these environmentalists, and I was an environmentalist, and it was a passionate, intense subject matter there.
All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. They'll be calling you a radical. Bloomgate, 311, whatever you want to call it. I call it Pacific genocide, whatever. It's fucking giant conspiratorial across all demographics. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. They'll be calling you a radical. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. Bloomgate, 311, whatever you want to call it. I call it Pacific genocide, whatever. It's fucking giant conspiratorial across all demographics. They'll be calling you a radical. May God have mercy on all of your souls.
Nuclear power was evolving. We were promised, oh, this can't happen.
Well, good morning. Come out of your dogma snuggies for an hour. A lot to talk about. The number one story, I think, in the entire Fukushima dynamic has happened. The entire 4 years. Right there in everybody's face, it has happened. And I want to talk about this. I want to talk about the fear porn bloggers and bloggers. They need to fucking sit down and shut up and get the fuck out. I mean, what is the matter with you? And it shows you the economy of fear. How much money is there to be in the economy? Fear. You got bloggers put up 5, 6 videos a day, all kinds of them, and it's fear, 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 because they have AdSense accounts. And people love it. They eat it up. Now, Fukushima has nothing to do with fear. Fukushima, not gonna, coulda, shoulda. This is what in reality has happened. Let's talk about this. The beach were the wells. 160 washed up the first day. Now we know many more washed up the next day and the next day. Lungs pump full of mucus. There, Diabo, whatever his name, 77. He reports it as these people are the analysis of the now. They're reading, but they have to stay with the fear porn. I understand. I understand. They're trying to make a buck. I get that. I ain't got a problem with that. But when they own 10 accounts or 15 accounts and they go to my site and boom, 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 and just click the dislike button, 10, 15 different accounts, why doesn't Google clean that up? The multiple account thing is bizarre to me, really bizarre. But the thing is, here it is, because they're saying, here's where they're going to run with it. And this is why the IAEA, the nuclear industry, the media, they don't even have to do this because you will do it for them. The fear porn will do it for them. Oh, did you know that wells washed up right before Fukushima, the earthquake happened? And this is going to happen. Oh, solar flares are going to kill you. Y12 is going to kill you. Oh, there's going to be a meteor here. It's going to kill you. It's going to end on this day. Oh, this is going to kill you. No, it's not. No, it's not. I mean, they fear, but you better get your gold, guns, and God. Silver. Buy some silver at 45. I'm Max Kaiser. I'm Joel Salente. I'm Greg Hunter. I'm all of them. Buy your silver at 45. It's 15. Oh, buy your gold at 1900. It's 12. Sell your stocks. Oh, my God, that stock. They're just printing money. The dollar's going to crash when the dollar has had the biggest gains it's ever had in the history of the United States over the last 7 years. The dollars went from $1.60 to $1.06 against the euro. Them are gigantic gains. Up is down, black is white. So, sell your stock. Oh, that's just paper money. Oh, really? Really? Let's see. Get out at 6,500, 7. It's 18,000. That's without dividend. Let's see. You sell your stocks. It turns into what? Cash? American currency? I want you to go to the store. Okay, say we do get a crisis. You need food, you need water, you need whatever. You go up and try to hand them a piece of gold or a piece of, what are you going to do, shear a piece off? They're going to laugh at you. You're going to say, where's your cash? You got American freaking $100 bills? And that even went on in Europe when everything crashed. Or anything went on when the Jews were sneaking out, people were sneaking out. They didn't hand the freaking German guy a piece of gold or a piece of silver because they have no way to test it. They don't know if it's fake or real. But they hand an American $100 bills and they're like, oh, thank you. Here, get on. It's the economy of fear. Buy your bunker, Alex Jones. Get your iodine tablets. Iodine tablets are the worst thing you can probably do. Under the Fukushima dynamic, I'm here to tell you, iodine tablets are the very worst thing you can do. Because it does. Now, if you were on the USS Reagan in the early days, absolutely some iodine tablets. We're talking in a very acute situation because it is a placebo. It will trick the thyroid. It will create an acute situation in the thyroid, and then when you need the thyroid, it won't work. So you stay on thyroid. It's like taking antibiotics all the time. When you need them, they're not going to work. And let me tell you, iodine's like taking a pea shooter to a drone war. Not going to work. The economy of fear. This has nothing to do with fear. This has to do with the reality. So let's talk about this. In an acute radiation situation, in a very acute, say you're exposed to heavy, heavy radiation in a very acute situation, what's going to happen? Your lungs are going to fill with white mucus immediately, and you're going to die. That's how you die. In a very acute. Now, you get a slow, heavy exposure to radiation, the same way Madame Curie. She was in denial, the way she died, the way they died, the way the atomic veterans died, whatever. But in the very, very heavy acute situation, so you go to Y12 and you get right in the pool. Say you fall into a pool. Say you get just heavy. Say you're right there. A lot of the Fukushima 50. You know, a lot of the Fukushima workers, a lot of people don't know this. They've been busting them in from the backside, using the homeless by the tens of thousands. Not just cleaning up the debris, whatever, that thing, you know, the underneath, all of them. There's so many of them already dead. But so what happens if you're in a very, very acute situation, exposed to nuclear fallout radiation, immediately, your eyes, maybe behind the eyes, it's going to fill your lungs. And why? Why? Because radiation attacks the soft tissue. The soft tissue is the lungs. They're the giant soft tissue. The number one killer in the leukemia cancer dynamic, anytime, especially after they get it beat back and it comes back, is always pneumonia. That's what pneumonia is. That's exactly what pneumonia is. It's the lungs filling up with the white mucus, the soft tissue. That's exactly what kills leukemia patients. Nuclear radiation, that's what kills them. They fight it back, they fight it back. That's how you go. That's exactly how you go. Most cancer patients, that's exactly how you go. Okay, so let's talk about this. It's been reported, and it's been confirmed to me. Now, as it goes along, because the Karen Eber sheet, they don't want to hear the truth. They don't want to hear the reality. The reality is this. The IAEA has announced over and over and over the TEPCO, we have written permission to flush, which they've already been flushing. But they came out and says, flush all 1,084 tanks you have built. Go ahead and flush them all. The IAEA gave them permission last month. Now, they've been flushing anyway and flushing the whole time. But they did it. I know for a fact they did it because of my sources I have inside. Oh, you're not going to say, it's against the law. It's state secret. You even mentioned the word. So they flushed last week. They flushed massively last week. Massively. I know it for a fact. So right where they flushed right at Fukushima. They have a pipeline they built that flushes out there into the Pacific Ocean. Right at Fukushima, Japan, there's a little teeny eddy that goes along, a little berm, and it goes right down the beach towards Tokyo. And then it heads out to sea, the current, and it hooks into the Japanese current. Right there before it hooks into the Japanese current is the beach where all the wells washed up. Now, before the state secret acts get thrown out, we have social media immediately worldwide. Before Google and the NSA could freaking stop all this, which they've done. They did it immediately. They weren't that quick on the trigger. Because just like when CNN really did report Fukushima when it happened, and different news outlets and that before NSA and all these apparatus had time for the cover-up. So it got out. Photographs got out. People tweeted photographs. I had one of the very earliest tweeted photographs, and boom, it's all over. Not only that, the Japanese scientists grabbed onto them and did their early autopsy on them. They said, The autopsy. And this is 30 scientists from Japan. They did not use the word Fukushima. They're not that stupid. But they said, under the autopsy, the organs were perfectly fine on all the dolphins. These are the big, big dolphins, too. They're called whales, but they're actually dolphins. What are they, hammerhead whales or whatever? They're actually dolphins. They're just like us. Their lungs are so similar to us. Yeah, they breathe through the gill, out through the mouth. They're so similar to us, brain, physicality, all of it. So they confirmed the lungs were plumb full of white mucus. All of them. All of them. So we get these idiots that are probably, they had cuts all. No, they did not have cuts all over the bodies. View the photographs. View the photographs. See, so that's the spin. Because the fear porn's got to make their dime. Now, if you have an AdSense account streaming across your YouTube site, your credibility's done. I mean, anybody knows that. It's just it's kind of like watching a sci-fi movie. People would watch you for entertainment. They get their jollies up. And I'm all for that. You have the First Amendment. You have the right to do that, whatever. But when I post information to you that is right from Japanese, quoted right from the scientists, and I put it on your site, and then you block me and you take it off, that means that you're working for the other team. That's malice, by the way. Now, if it's disinformation, and you have the right to block anybody, knock anybody down. But to be contemporized right now and have this entire thesis is outrageous. This is the thumbprint. This is the biggest story in the world right now today, bar none. The biggest story in the world. And the fainting ghosts because they all think this is the most arrogant, disgusting society in human history. These arrogant dumb fuckers, you can't have them. They think they know everything, and they don't know anything. They're fucking stupid. They're ignorant. You have a conversation with somebody about Fukushima, they don't even know what a spent fuel pool is. They don't know what nuclear waste is. They don't know what moxie fuel is. They don't know they moxie fuel and turn it into nuclear weapons. They know there's no answer for the waste. They don't even know what a uranium mine is. They don't know that it's boiling the water. They don't know. They think it's magic. They still think it's not magic. It's purely just, there's nothing that complex about it. This is the biggest story in the world. This proves it all. Well, we ain't got to prove it. It's just normal logic. What I've done since Fukushima happened, the day it happened, is the greatest PhD in this country, bar none, maybe the world, this PhD that I've done. This is a real PhD because my hypothesis happened long before Fukushima happened. I hypothesized that we were going to get a nuclear meltdown and it was going to freaking go on forever and ever, that the sheep, you can look at my early video, and the propaganda machine would go into place, it would cover it up, and it would kill silently and slowly forever, and the American populace would not accept it, the world populace, the media would cover it. My hypothesis. That was my hypothesis before Fukushima happened. And if you don't believe me, you go to the day it happened. Go to the day it happened, look at the video that I did. I'm the only guy reporting this on the face of the earth, the only one. Okay? So what is a PhD? We hypothesize. The hypothesize was in front of that. Then we have to get out in the field. We have to prove it. We have to do the work. Let's see. It's going to give you leukemia. It's going to got leukemia. Did the work inside of a bone marrow transplant unit. Been all over the country. Then walked up and down the freaking coast of California over and over. Documented this. That's what we do. We record it. Then we build our abstracts as we go along. How many do I have? 1,400 and something abstracts? These videos? With the real-time data as it occurred? So, conclusion? Absolutely conclusion. The conclusion's unarguable. Fukushima's killing the Pacific Ocean. Killed so much of it. Fukushima's going to kill forever and ever. Fukushima was an orchestrated cover-up from the very top. The media participated, the American populace participated, the IAEA completely hijacked the UN, all of them participated, just as I had hypothesized. Proof, proof, proof. So let's go back to when the dolphins washed up on shore before Fukushima happened, which they did. That's a fact. Same area. 16 of them, not hundreds. The first batch was 160 that died. The second batch, I get word, is probably more than that. It's probably more like 1,000 are dead over there. The American nuclear industry, I pledge allegiance to the United States of nuclearism, which runs this world. Like I said, how many of the emails from Westinghouse did Hillary freaking get rid of? And if you don't believe me, I want you to Google Hillary Clinton in Czechoslovakia with the president. Her last duty as Secretary of State, the top diplomat in the United States of America. She's in Czechoslovakia threatening in public, using the word over and over and over, you will pull the contract with Russia and give this contract to build a nuclear plant, and you will do it or else. Westinghouse, she used the word Westinghouse no less than a freaking 30 times. I thought Westinghouse was a private company. By the way, during 2011, 2014, Westinghouse was bought by Toshiba. Toshiba owns TEPCO. Yet Westinghouse retained the board of directors. Now, what's that all about? That's to avoid American antitrust law. That's to avoid American law. That's exactly what it is. How do they retain the board of directors? The bigger company, which they do. It's to avoid litigation. She's guarding them because that's how you get in office. Barry Antoinette let them get. That's exactly how he got in office. He was propped up by Exelon. Look it up. Where Axelrod come from? Look it up. Skull and Crossbones is 100% nuclear. Skull and Crossbones is running this country. Well, Skull and Crossbones is not just Yale. It's Harvard. It's all of them. Ask Aaron Swartz. Ask Michael Hastings. Ask Pat fucking. Oh, you can't. They killed him. There's no commentary there. That's well documented. Let's talk about all you fear porn. Oh, this is going to have a meteor's going to hit the earth. Oh, some solar fire is going to fucking kill you. Oh, we're going to get this. The fucking dollar's going to crash. We're going to get this. And I want to talk about this too. This is how ignorant the American populace is and these vloggers and bloggers. One of the bloggers comes to me and sees the snow flying all day yesterday on my video. He says, so much for no more clouds. Hello. This is how abstract and ignorant people sitting in their basement. Major storms anywhere in the United States, especially in the western United States, when you got a big storm blowing in, we always get heavy south winds that blow in front of it. That's the air rush meeting the storm. Always, always, always. Of course, we knew there was a big storm coming. You know, that's the only thing Utah does very well. They'll forecast weather very well here. Of course. So you go to the Weather Channel and type in Nevada and Utah dust storm. The Weather Channel has it on their satellites. They watch it. Pick up the plume across the Utah-Nevada desert. They pick up a plume of dust, and they watch the dust go right over us. Talk to anybody in Utah, they'll say, oh, my God. Out on A80, massive piles of. Only one person killed, I don't know how. Massacre. I talked to people that were out there. They says, oh, my God, it's the scariest thing I've ever seen. It went on for a long time. It was just black. Black. The Nevada desert and the Great Salt Lake, there are lakes, including the Great Salt Lake, that are drying up, that are exposing real estate that has not been exposed. It's been underwater for millions. Hear me, millions of years. Millions. The desert has never been so dry. Utah, right here. Average snowfall on the Salt Lake Valley, the Ogden Valley, is 56.9 inches of snow a year. That's on the valley. Until yesterday, 9.6 for the year. We got 5 to 6 inches here. So we got 40% of the entire year's snowpack on April 15th. Now, we get April snowstorms, very common here, you know, that we can get one, but not like this. This is a big boy. Is it enough to help out the what? No. I mean, thank God the trees are saying thank you, thank you. I mean, lawns burning up already in springtime. Nevada. 3-year rainfall, less than 10%. I talked to people in Las Vegas. Oh, my God. So, heed this warning right here, right now. So many people have asthma. So many elderly people have lung problems. All across Nevada, Utah. We're talking all the way to the Mississippi, Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota. There's fires going in Minnesota right now, North Dakota and South Dakota, in April. So all through this whole region, Nebraska, Wyoming, you know, New Mexico, all of it, even, you know, parts of Texas, whatever, Oklahoma, Kansas, all of you need to really take heed right now. Look, these storms are going to blow across here. And it's going to start soon. Come summertime, we're going to get epic, epic storms. So and this is important too. If you live in Utah, you live anywhere, before you turn on your air conditioner this year and your exchange, change those fucking filters out because they're chock full of all this shit. Now, we know the Nevada test site sprinkled radioactive material all over southern Utah and all over that area. We call it the red dust. I mean, it's going to throw it all over the United States. The half-life's 24,500. Downwinders are not in past tense, Mike Lee. You know, all these people, oh, my dad was a downwinder. What, you don't think you are? You may have forgot. Plutonium didn't forget. There's a reason where the southern Utah is the cancer capital of the world, bar none. Again, that's not freaking commentary. That's my PhD in a bone marrow transplant. I'm in the #1 bone marrow transplant in the world, the top of LDS Hospital, which the Mormon Church does not own. Cutting edge, 9 doctors from around the world. The #1 in the world. I shouldn't. If I wouldn't have landed, I would have never lived. The survival rate on mine as a PhD, another PhD, a doctor did his PhD, not hypothesized, he did his work. Hundreds of people with this exact same disease. 51-year-old male with this disease, survival rate 0.04. I'm the first guy in the United States to willingly do this without, maybe in the world, without a bone marrow transplant, because they're cutting edge. Inside that hospital, the Utah population, they take in the whole Iron Mountain region. So inside of the whole Iron Mountain region, you know, Utah's got 3 million people. But they take Idaho, they take what? They take the whole Intermountain region. So probably an accumulative of 5 million people they serve in a dramatic way. 5 million people. Southern Utah makes up what? A couple 100,000. Maybe 300,000 or 400,000. Do the math. Probably in reality 3 or 4%. You know, let's even say it's 8 or 9%. Go in there. I was there for 1,240 days. Head of the support group for a long time. My estimate is probably right around 50%, maybe higher, of the people in there from southern Utah. Central and southern Utah. For real. Talk to any doctor. Oh, they know. They know. It's not in the past. So it's one. So if you live anywhere in the western United States, #1, stock up on filters for your air conditioning unit and your furnace. Stock up now because you're going to get a run. You know how people here, just like a couple years ago we had major ice storms, so nobody's got any ice, melt, or salt. They can't get it for much because these people aren't going to hypothesize. They're too fucking stupid as far as your Home Depots of the world, your corporate fucking scum. So get them now because you're going to go get them when this happens and they're not going to be available. Get you some masks. You know, and take precautions now, especially if you're elderly, if you're handicapped, you have any lung problems, if you have child with asthma, because these emergency rooms are going to overflow. And by the way, do not go to an emergency room in Ogden, Utah. The McQuack-D and the other one, they will kill you. And this has been well documented by many people. They have a security force in that shoots people. They have dogs there. It's a federal grant. It's a multi-billion-dollar hospital. The culture's been developed. They sent me home to die multiple times. And I've heard these stories over and over and over. It's the worst hospital in the United States, bar none. Now, versus LDS, a wonderful place, incredible place with a culture that they're going to go to work on you, save you, drive the extra 40 miles. And there's a lot of these. They're going to overflow. Now, if you're an ETM in Utah, you know, if you work for the fire department, unlike in New York City, and that's another thing. How do you call firemen heroes and policemen heroes and people that went to Iraq or whatever? How are they heroes? I want to understand how we got this dynamic. These people are heroes. Our heroes. Thank you. What? What? People that join the military for a fucking job. They go over there and fucking kill people who never did anything to you. They're killing innocent fucking people. Destroying, let's see, the Tigris meets the Euphrates. Doesn't the Bible say that's the Garden of Eden? Like phosphorus, depleted uranium. What's depleted uranium? All over. Killing people that nobody from Iraq did one thing to anybody in the United States. Nobody from Afghanistan did one thing. Oh, Bin Laden. He's a Saudi. They're all fucking Saudis. And Bin Laden didn't do it anyway. You know, so these are heroes? A fireman? You know, you go to a sporting event now and it used to say, you know, by the way, the flag raising of the sporting event has all come around post-World War II. We didn't have a fucking national anthem. The Americans weren't no flag-waving fucking nation builders. You know, they used to say, burn all the flags. That's what they would say. That's what Americans were for fucking hundreds of years, even before it was the United States. The colonialists. They fucking burn flags. They don't want fucking flags. So now you get up, let's play it. We would like to honor our heroes, our military personnel, and our police and firemen? Go talk to a fireman in New York City. They don't work. I was talking to my one friend, he's a fireman in New York City. He's the last 3 years I went on 2 garbage can fires. They said they make huge. They don't do anything. Heroes? Reservists? Military personnel? No, they're victims. The Navy, the Marines and the Navy, especially the ones sent in the rain, hardcore victims. Lab rats? Oh, fuck yeah. You know, the Marines that were over there, it's sad what they did to them. I mean, it's the same thing they did in Vietnam. Lied fucking to them. Go fight a fucking banker's fucking war. You know, something you'll forget about. You won't even know what you're fighting for fucking several years from now. Scarborough Fair. The victims. So how do you call them? Cops who killed unarmed people are heroes? Heroes? Talk to cops. These guys, no, the fuck. We show up. That's why there's 800 of us show up to anything, because we're bored. We don't do anything. They're a hero? I remember once they were called police. Police. Look up the definition of police. They're part of community. They were to police. Just kind of watch out. They weren't law enforcement. Now think about the term law enforcement. It's against the Constitution. It's against the law enforcement. Aren't that what judges are for? Aren't that what courts are for? Aren't that what juries are for? Isn't that what the Fourth Amendment, the Fifth Amendment, the Sixth Amendment, the Seventh Amendment, the Eighth Amendment of the United States Constitution are? Johnny, get your gun. Law enforcement is to be enforced by courts, by your peers' Magna Carta, reverse Magna Carta, a myth, a fairy tale. Of course it's a myth, a fairy tale. But that's how this country's evolved, a myth and a fairy tale. Wow. Law, they're heroes? What the fuck? Our wounded heroes, they're victims. You know, they go into the job, they join the reserve so they get the GI Bill. Fuck, they need a job because we fucking got rid of tariffs. We sent her to China. Oh, China's going to call them they're dead. Don't you love that one? Don't you? Can you imagine China called them they're fucking dead? Trust me, China needs us way more than we need them. The United States say, go fuck yourself. What are you going to do about it? How about we put a tariff at the port? You know what the United States, if they put a tariff, would do to China overnight? They know that. By the way, China is all American exploiters. They're all American businessmen, American companies. They just took their factories and their plants, and just whoop, whoop, and replaced $50 an hour labor, $60 an hour, $70 an hour, $40, which that's what Americans should be making, with 30 slaves. That's all it is. That's all it is. That's all it is. China, the United States consumes 38% of the world's GDP. They make up less than 3% of the world's population. It's all being made in China. China could have It's so ignorant. Why is China buying up the fucking debt? Because they don't trust their own fucking bubble economy. They know. They know that they're fucking 100% reliant on American, you know, to put their slave, which, reliant, I mean, fuck. How would you like to live in China right now? You know how many women they execute a day? You know, I thought they were communists. I thought we fought against communists. We hate you communists. By the way, this is how propaganda the American populace is. We got so populated when we're kids about the commie Russians, the commie Russians, the commie Russians. We got so propaganded against them. Sorry about the background noise. That's all you hear in this place. So, let's talk about Lenin. And I'm not talking John. Lenin, the activist, the radical, which is a real name. He changed his name, Lenin, when he was hiding out in Switzerland. He was the first one to make homosexuality illegal. It was illegal. He was a social reformer, a radical. Sounds familiar to a lot of people in this country, huh? But yet he's bad? Maybe he was bad. I don't fucking know. But people don't even dig in. Stalin. Who are we in the United States? Now, I love all these free market fairy tale motherfuckers all over out there. What? Did you know? And this is a fact. Again, my PhD. It's all right there for you to think. I can record it all in history in real time. People will spend fucking years on PhDs on my fucking videos because I record it in history. It is my videos are the recorded record. So are Jan's, Miss Milky the Clown. So is Christina Radnet. Some from the people from the inception. They're historical documents, big time historical documents. We recorded it in history as it happened. Fukushima happens, the disaster, in March 11th, 2011. You remember what was going on in the United States then? The budget debate, which we don't even hear a word about the budget debate now. Not a word. We don't hear about it. The debt, no one even talks about it. It was raging, man, because that's it. It's a news cycle. Everybody gets geeked up on this news cycle, and then it just goes away, and they move on, and they forget about everything. That's what's happened to Fukushima. Like I said, it ain't going away. You're a dogma. So, under the budget, the 18 going to $19 trillion debt, which the dollar got thrashed in 2000 and 2007. The dollar's been making incredible gains as of late. What did they finally pull? Because it was all semantics. Because they're about to not touch the military. Because we're building bombs. We build tanks that we don't use. We build bombs that we don't use. The military industrial complex, beware. That's not a cliche. It happened. It's out of control. That's redistribution of wealth. That's communism. That's communism. 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 Redistribution of wealth doesn't matter. Communists, where did all their redistribution of wealth go under Stalin? And even after Stalin died, it went into fucking earnest, the Cold War. Building bombs, building bombs, building bombs, building bombs. Military, military, mayday, mayday, mayday. The United States is mayday every day now. Mayday. They parade the military hardware. You ever been to an air show lately? So they parade the military hardware over and over and over and over. That's exactly what took Russia down. That's what's taken America down. All their money went to there. Forget all the social fabric that were needed. Fuck roads. Fucking infrastructure. Fuck a good support network for the mentally ill, which commonly, forget all that. Fucking throw it out. Turn them homeless. Fuck the working class population. Fuck them all. It's all military. Sound familiar? That's what took Russia, not Russia, the Soviet Union apart. That's what's taken the American part. That's communism. That's communism by definition. Redistributed wealth. That's with a mix of fascism in it. Because think about fascism. It's not Google. It's Google's. Not Google. It's Google's. NSA has complete control of fucking Google. Complete control. They love these guys that false equivalently spin these bloggers and bloggers. They washed up on shore, so we're going to get another tsunami. Huh. When they're not going to talk about what really killed them, and it's been confirmed. It's 100% documented confirmed. So at the end of the debate, in days after Fukushima, it came down to pulling. I'm the one that came up with the term, they want to kill Bert and Ernie. Look it up. I'm the one, long before anybody started saying that. Either pull the, it was a sacrificial lamb by the neocon, conservative, fucking lunatic, fucking radical right, and then the fucking elitist, fucking whacked out fucking left. It was a fucking sacred cow. So they had to have a sacrificial lamb. It mean nothing. They wanted to cut $10 million to make a deal just to pander to their fucking radical, insane fucking base. Operation Foxconn. It came down to either kill Bert and Ernie or cut the food inspection, which is the lowest in the world, bar none. Did you know they cut millions out of the food inspection? The price of one bomb. When they should have been bolstering it. Right as Fukushima, there's no food inspection in this country. This is another piece of my PhD as it went along. Simply this. The Northern Fishing Alliance of Japan, devastated. They've been screaming the loudest about this. The fishermen here used to fight and argue. When I'd show up on the coast, I'd say, oh, you fucker, you're Kevin Wine. You're hurting our ass. I said, don't shoot the messenger, you dumb motherfucker. Why aren't you going against these fuckers? Why aren't you having a fit of the nuclear? That's who's killing your fucking industry. Japan got it. They knew who killed their industry. They knew it was Westinghouse and General Electric, the United States of Nuclears, and they knew that. They've always known that. They've thrown a fucking fit. They've gone berserk about it. So as they're going berserk about it, they have an alliance. It's called the Northern Cod, Northern Fishing Alliance, into the restaurants of Manhattan, New York City. So this cod and this fish is coming in there. The United States refuses to protect their own populace. They refuse because the United States is a government in a place that is a weapon to use against its own people. We have no representative government. It's a pure weapon. So Japan steps forward. The Northern Fishing Alliance says, we're going to block this fish, our own fish, from coming in to New York because New York refuses to protect themselves. They refuse to protect themselves. So they did it for them. This is how pathetic this is. It's turned out. As I walked through D.C. when I led the Million Mass March on November 5th, remember the 5th of November 2013. right down Constitution. We blocked the entire city with police escorts. I'm the one that fucking put those police escorts in place. That was my work. Me. You name me one person in the history of this fucking country. Oh, Martin Luther King did it. A few other fucking people did it. Name one person that on a Tuesday can block the entire fucking downtown D.C. off in the middle of the day and get a police escort with a group fucking marching around. Show me anybody can do that. Oh, I fucking did it. I fucking did it. I worked with the fucking police and cops as I was there. Just walked up and talked to them. And here's how I did it. They weren't about to give us no police escort. We weren't allowed to go down those streets, whatever. They told us where we could go. We had a permit. John Anthony and his fucking cousins, they had the permit. You know, Steve Grant showed up. We had our great group, the originators who put this baby together. It was John Anthony Fairhurst's idea. Then he worked with me. He worked with Steve Grant. He worked with others. And we did it online. We got together, and we did it. But we physically had to do it. So the day before, you know, we're over there. John Anthony's giving his interview with RT. I did our interviews with RT, but Fukushima. They don't show anything Fukushima me because they're pro-nuclear too. Because of the Russian mouthpiece. They do good work, by the way. They do more work, but social inequality, other things, they'll play my voice. My voice booming through the Dunkirk Chronicles. They've had hundreds and hundreds of thousands of views that went, oh, that's all my voice through there they'll use. They'll show clips of me, whatever, as long as they don't use the F word, Helen Caldicott, the F word. I'm a carpenter, what's a hammer? I'm a baker, what's a cake? I'm an environmentalist, what's Fukushima? I'm an anti-nuclear, Helen Caldicott, what's Fukushima? Really? Come on, Fukushima is the platform to shut down all fucking nuclear, whether it be weapons, I can. Come on, I'll be in Vienna, come on. Fukushima is the thing you should be hammering. If you're anti-nuclear weapon, if you're a peace activist, if you're human rights, if you're anything, there's one thing you should go right at the top and hammer. I've known this because I've done this. Fukushima. Because it is the reality of what happened, not what's going to happen. None of the hypothesizing what happened. The worst fears happened. So the day before, they're all over me. They know me. They're watching our sites. Plainclothes guys are coming up to me all over. Kevin, can we talk to you? Yeah. I'm with Capitol Security. What's your plans? Film plans? You know, head of White House Security. His name's Sands. I'm sure he's in some hot water today. That freaking lunatic that flew that thing in there. I mean, what the fuck is the matter with these guys? Think about this lunatic that flew that. His son committed suicide by crashing his car into just a random other person and killing a random person. What is the matter with these freaks? Self-indulged, egotistical fucks. They could say, well, they're killing innocent people. What the fuck is the matter with people? They're fucking what? That's activism? Fuck no, that's activism. That's murder. Creeps. That's the opposite of activism. It's completely the opposite. Well, what isn't upside down in this country? So we start talking. He's not very friendly to me, and he's saying what we can do. And I said, wait a minute. Look, I want to talk to you. I am supporting all of you. You should be on our side. John Anthony gets it. Steve Grant gets it. They all get it. We all get this. Our community, somebody says, oh, I doubt your whole million mascot knew anything about Fukushima. Are you kidding me? That's the smartest fucking group I've ever been. So they get everything. That's the smartest group of fucking people you ever meet. Oh, do they get it to the fucking 10th power. All of them. Every single person in the street. Amazing, fucking powerful, brilliant fucking people. Oh, do they all get it. So I'm like, wait a minute. We're fighting for you. I've got leukemia. I'm an anti-nuclear activist. Fukushima, we don't want you to get cancer. We want to stop these monsters from poisoning our earth. We want to stop all these things. You know, we're on your team. He says, you know, Kevin, my sister, not very long ago, or his sister-in-law, I can't remember, passed away from leukemia. I said, where'd you live? And he said, Marin County today. I said, you know what kind of huge incident of cancer they have in that region? We talked about the nuclear waste from Livermore being dumped into the bay and whatever, and we talked. And you could see him. He was starting to get emotional about it. You know, I know how to do that because I just tell my true story. I tell my true story. A lot of people will block out because they can't become intimate, and they can't because they'll become emotional because it's a very emotional subject. It's a hard subject, but it's what we should be having. And so we talked, and then other police talked, and then Capitol Security comes up to me, you know, and we talked. And I says, hey, come on, we're on your side. We're not against you. We love you. We love everyone, which we do. Even our enemies. We don't want... Do you think I want Jamie Dimon to die of cancer right now? I know he's in the fight of his life right now. In his lymph nodes, I know he's going through hell right now. Yeah, as evil as the motherfucker was and shit, but I don't want anybody to have to die like this, like the dolphins died with mucus in their lungs. I don't want anybody to go like that because I've watched too many times. It's too brutal. It's the most cruel way on fucking earth to die. It's so fucking cruel. Death via fucking nuclear fallout, all these different cancers, and so many of you've watched it with loved ones. You know how cruel it is. It's beyond cruel. No one should have to die that way. You know, I watched so many fights that with Paul, he went, you know, my beautiful Kevin and Carla, she went. It breaks my heart. I've watched so many of them. It's horrible. It's horrible. My father, Annika, I watched it. Perfectly healthy, beautiful, incredible people have to suffer and go down like that. I told my daughters I'm not as tough as them. I told Paul as he was going, I'm not as tough as you. I can't, you know, amazing man. Calming me down as he's dying, going in and out of a coma. Amazing dude. He says, I'm not as strong as you. Maybe that's why I've been spared. You know, whatever the forces are that take us, oh, it's true. Only the good die young. You know, I'm not pure enough. It's a purity process. There's no doubt about that. I went through it, a lot of it. You know, when I got to the edge, I stood and looked down. I lost a lot of friends there, literally. But I have a lot of work left to do. I'm not good enough to go. I know that. I know that. I've been through this whole thing, the light I call it. It's a horrible way to die. It's suffering to the 10th power, like the dolphins. Think about hundreds of thousands of sea lions starving to death. Do you know what a brutal death starving to death is? These are brutal fucking deaths, what's going on in Pacific genocide. You know, Nancy Chamberlain, she showed up from L.A., she's great, wrote this incredible poem, and I'm going to read it online. And she says, you captured it all with two simple words, Kevin, Pacific genocide. Yeah. But it's an evil, cruel, cruel, cruel way. I've seen it with my own eyes. These guys standing out on the piers on the one right there in San Simeon saying, oh, look at these healthy, how would they fucking know? Sitting in a bar? When I physically walked through things and saw it with my own eyes. Starving to death, mama elephant seals. Starving to death by the hundreds of thousands of babies and mama sea lions. By the hundreds of thousands. Starving to death. The little ducks. People playing freaking volleyball right on the top of dead aquilons, the little ducks. I saw tens of thousands of dead aquilons. It's been confirmed. Starved to death. We know there was a total collapse in the sardine population. We know there was in the anchovy. We know that there's a total collapse going on the plankton. We know that the evolution of time, the food chain, the ecosystem. Let's go back to third grade. They died. The next in the food chain up and up and up slowly dies. Whales not breeding. The orcas are very smart and very intuitive. Why do you think they're not breeding? They know that there's not food for those babies. So they're smart enough not to breed. That's how smart they are, because these are creatures that evolved for fucking millions and millions. I mean, it's like, this is how ignorant a guy told me yesterday. Well, wouldn't you think if they did that major flush that the dolphins would have got out of there? I said, how? You can't smell it, you can't see it, and never in the history of the world have they ever been able to evolve with this. Somebody says, well, I says, yeah, because it's never happened, ever in the history of the earth. Never. It's nuclear fission. Did not happen at Chernobyl. It was entombed. This is a major, major gamma ray. You saw the freaking camera that went down, whether that's real or not. Them are daunting. You can see the heat coming off. And I don't even like using the word heat. Now, I did an interview yesterday. I do lots of interviews. I've done thousands of them, yet they never show up because they go back to their producers, whatever, and they're like, well, we can't put that up. Because the truth is a motherfucker. So, I says, I don't like using the word heat off Fukushima. I don't know what you would call it. I call it gamma rays. I call it the red sun. It's an energy. Is it heat? I don't know. We know that the heating of the atmosphere via the 410 reactors of boiling water all day is what's heated up the atmosphere. There's absolutely no argument about that. But I call it the red sun. It's an energy. It's gamma rays. Now, we know gamma rays are billions of times stronger than these rays that are being sent, these energies that are going off. So what has TEPCO done? In the first 6 days, it went up over. Now, I have data, and I presented you again, my documentation, my PhD, on 3/15/11. You go to that video I did 3/15. Tagged inside there is data from the first 24 hours from Fukushima, the first 24 hours showing up in Sacramento. It's right there. It's gone. I mean, I recorded all this. It's there. So, hammered us for 6 days, which we know now it hammered the Rocky Mountain of Utah, just like the dust storms. I mean, just logical. Blows across this mighty beautiful Wasatch, catches the snow. Thus, we have the snow. We're in the middle of the desert, but we have that big, tall, incredible mountain range right here where we literally stops it and catches everything. Same with Fukushima, Japan. It caught it. I was working outside up in Tartar House. I cannot overstate this. Again, documented in my PhD. How many people I know, my friends in my community in Ogden, got leukemia at the exact same time. Huge amount, giant amount. People I grew up with. My friend Gail Kelly got fucking cancer in his brain the exact same day as me. Dead in months. Incredible healthy man. I mean, all these people. I know dozens and dozens and dozens. Dozens. I'm the only one out of that group of life. The only one. Like I said, my work's not done. So they made the decision after, as soon as they could, day 6, they got no answer, because inside the Situation Room, they're having the battle and the bite. That's why the U.S. Reagan was sent in. That's why all the Navy fucking ships were sent in, because they were going to tomb them. The Navy had to get it. The Navy wanted in. The Admiral's own words. We have the FOIA documents to prove this. You know, we know the argument that went on side, but they were protecting the nuclear industry. John Holdren, head of the Science and Technology team for the administration before Fukushima happened, he took the field. He's a eugenics guy. Look it up. He wrote 2 books on eugenics. He's the Cal Berkeley, the head of the snake guy. He's the guy. He won the argument inside the Situation. They took the key, 32-team panel. The guy that I run into inside the Metropolitan Museum, you cannot make this, of in New York City, going toe-to-toe, standing right in front of the freaking famous Brown painting, the abolitionist painting, and standing right in front of the great Rocky Mountain, Mount Lander freaking painting, standing right there. He physically put his finger on and touched one of the natives on that. I'll swear this on my father's grave. Then I get talking. He's one of the science and technology. What's the odds of this? What's the odds of this? I'm there for the Helen Catacomb, we're over there. He was there for the opera. He told me, he says, Kevin, he knew me. He says, Kevin, I can't have this conversation. He says, I won't have this conversation. His little buddy kept having one. He can't. Which he can't, because he's on the Science and Technology team. And a conversation, even in a public place like that, is a foiable document. Under the Freedom of Information Act, it is foiable. He has to report that. By law, he knows that. I can't have this conversation, he says. So they protected the industry. They protected the nanotechnology at freaking Berkeley. Said they had it handled. They could handle it. They could handle it. That leads me back to when the dolphins washed up in front of Fukushima, the earthquake, which is very real, 16. And it was confirmed they were killed by sonar. They got disoriented and were killed by sonar. We know because we have the FOIA documents that say it. They say it. The General Electric employees that were in Fukushima, Japan at the time, with their Moxie fuel and number 3, they were Moxie and fuel, their secret weapons plant. We know that's factual. We knew that. All of us knew that. I mean, that was common knowledge. The government admitted it long before it happened. That's why we all, Laura Monet, myself, so many people, even Kevin Kantz, all said when this happens, it's going to happen in Fukushima, Japan. We knew what they were up to, and the government admitted it there because we were all over this. Their secret nuclear weapons plant in freaking Japan. Being run, building nuclear freaking reactors on earthquake zones. Dozens of them. The nuclear being run out of the colony, Barack Obama, in Japan. These treaties were signed long before I was born. You also buy to see exactly 70 years ago. FDR died on April 12th, 70 years ago. No royals, no royals, no royals. Stalin's first words, who poisoned me? The Atlantic Conference, which is the UN, no royals. Remember that was the deal? The deal was, okay, Stalin, you can have Eastern Europe, but you help us finish the job at Japan. Oppenheimer wanted a scare bomb. That's all. That's all. They pushed Oppenheimer, you're a commie. They pushed them all. All the peace activists were pushed aside. They found that even Hungarian creep that would play ball with the military-industrial complex, the Gene McCarthy fucking radical, fucking insane fuckers. Tell her. It went amok. It's just fuck. So FDR, okay, that's the deal. The United States signed the documents and took Japan. They're multi-hundred-year documents. Read them. So they run the show over there. They have no free elections in Japan. The United States nuclear cartel runs the show over there. So we know, because we have the FOIA documents to say, oh my God, do you think we caused that? The day that it happened. Do you think we caused that? Multiple ones, multiple conversations, because they're in the FOIA documents, which anybody can request them. If you're a journalist, anybody, and you bloggers, you can request them. You know, Shane Russell's done a magnificent job. Miss Milky, by the way, this Patrick Henry lunatic that was doing, took credit for it, which was nothing but a freaking whacked-out ex-heroin addict. I'm sure he's probably back in the crack house now. That was all Jan's work. Those videos were her mixed with feeding with Shane Russell. He just put them out there. Jan has them all. Shane Russell did a magnificent job from the very early days breaking these down. Maureen Burke up there, they did magnificent work. They were all over this from the day one. They have IQs that would blow your mind. These are people that have IQs in the 180s. They can read documents. They'll blow your mind. Have a conversation with either of them. This is how brilliant. They can look at a document and decipher fast. They go through, because that's how they shove this in the FOIA documents. They make it hard for you to decipher. These people are brilliant on deciphering, which has been multiply backed up. He's backed it up through me. Actually, I opened a file at the New York City Historical Library. It's in there. We backed it up in multiple places, this work. The FOIA documents say over and over, oh my God, did we cause that? We know they were fucking around. Now, I don't believe that it was done on purpose. Now, there's certain vloggers and bloggers. Now, I'm not saying they're wrong. No, I'm just saying they'll say that it was intentionally done, blah, blah, blah. I disagree with that. But were they using underground sonar and fucking around with their nuclear fucking thesis and their fucking nanotechnology, their CERN that they have there? Well, we know for a fact they were. This, again, is not hypothesis, not commentary. Oh, the sun's going to fucking soar, a meteor's going to hit, the fucking dollar's going to crash, fucking blah, 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 all this fucking fear porn. No, this is just reality that's been proven through the FOIA. My PhD proves it. Shane Russell's PhD proves it. Jasmine Smokey the Count proves it. This is unarguable, factual fucking deal. That's what PhDs do. It's unarguably improved. They were fucking around. That's what fucking sent the dolphins right up. Did it cause the earthquake? Maybe. Maybe. So they take the quantum leap on this one. No, this is very different. These are hundreds of dolphins showed up. And it's been confirmed 30 Japanese scientists, before the State Secret Act could get out, they autopsied and it got out. Fukushima Diary, his incredible work. He's done some great work, too. It was to him because, look, it's against the law. So we have people of Japanese descent that are living in Hawaii, including we have a state senator in Hawaii who was born and raised in Fukushima. She's been told to stand down. But we have people leaking us stuff that go third party from Japan to Hawaii to wherever to us. Very dangerous because we know what they do to journalists. In Japan, I used to do a radio show inside Japan all the time in the very early days for a long time. Even when I was in critical condition in the hospital, I couldn't do it for a long time when I was under the heavens for about 6 months when I got really, really sick. But a long time. There was an American radio show host living in Tokyo that hosted it. He and a professor from myself, and this guy spoke beautiful Japanese, and so he would be the liaison from the Japanese speaker and me, the English speaker, and we would talk, and we'd go, gone. Got an email long time ago. We haven't heard from him. We don't even know where he's at. State Secret Act. America put him in. You think about that. Happened 12/12. Just think about that alone. So this got out, and I backed it up through all my sources. These are the best scientists in all of Japan. They autopsied these dolphins. Organs perfectly healthy. No sonar, because they can tell if it was sonar, by the way. They can tell. It causes some kind of reaction in the brain, and they autopsied the brain. No sonar. It's been proved and documented. Mucus in the lungs. We know for a fact that they did their major giant flush 4 days before these things show up on the fucking beach. So, perfect. So it comes out of the pipe right there, goes right down. This happened 85 miles, a stretch, which was probably about 40 miles to 100 miles. These things littered the beach right there between Tokyo and the nuclear plant of Fukushima. That's where the current runs. The current doesn't run up. The current runs right there. So they're flushing into that current. And there was a giant pot of these wells, which are really dolphins right there, and they were getting it in a very hardcore, acute way. Look it up. Acute exposure to radiation, I cannot overstate this, fills the lungs with mucus. Immediately, and it kills you dead. That's how you die. That's exactly what happened to these. Exactly. So they throw down the gauntlet. No more photographs. No more statements out because they know. Again, State Secrets Act. By the way, I know for a fact that there's been hundreds of them, not just the 160. Somebody reported the other day that only fucking 6 of them are dead. Out of the 160, that group, they only saved 3, and then the other 3 probably died anyway. There are more hundreds showing up the next day and the next day and the next day. They killed them all. A mass wipeout of that pod. So that eddy goes down. Get ready is all I got to tell you. Well, even worse than we are. So it goes into the Japanese current. It hooks to the Japanese current could be the fastest river on the face of the earth. The Japanese current comes to the United States across the Pacific. It's a river inside the Pacific Ocean. Probably the biggest, fastest, swiftest river on the face of the earth. It gets right close to the Bay of California, San Francisco Bay. It splits. It goes and it wraps up into the Gulf of Alaska and circles, makes a big fucking circle all through the Gulf. Come get your tuna, baby. You know, that's where all the fish comes from in the food that we eat. Get your fish burgers at Wendy's. It comes all the way down that current, all the way down the coast, clear to the equator. Quickly. That's the California current, the ones right off the coast of California, off the coast of Oregon, all the way down. All the way down. Very swift river. Did you know, this is, the whole thesis. People, shipbuilders and sailors could make it to the port of New York City quicker than they could because they were the greatest craftsmen on the face of the earth. They knew how to use these rivers and these trade winds. Oh, they got it, boy. That's the most skilled craftsman in the history of mankind, Moby Dick. This is very real. This is the fucking, and I'm not fear porn. No, I'm not. I'm just recording. I don't want to hear any more of these fear porn fuckers. That's all they do, and they get giant viewership on YouTube because that's what it's turned into. Because people eat that shit up because people are sick. People are whack. They're poorly educated. It's an easy, lazy fucking crutch. And I don't mean Charles Crutch. All this crutch bullshit. The earth's not going to end. The dollar's not going to fucking crash. The dollar's getting healthier. It's not. The military-industrial complex is out of fucking control. But this is going to kill the fucking ocean, which is killing, and it's going to kill hundreds of millions for fucking decades, for centuries. It's going to give birth to, it's going to cause asthma, it's going to cause birth defects, it's going to cause autism, it's going to cause more on Balco, and it's going to kill so many of you. What a perfect storm, huh? Don't want to pay these 85 billion baby boomers that are getting ready to retire. Social Security's broke, huh? John Holden. He says it. Read his book. This kills 60-year-olds like crazy. 50-year-olds. Leukemia loves to kill them. Your survival rate is so low from 50%. They won't even bone marrow transplant if you're a certain age because they know they don't work. Rarely do they work. I mean, once in a blue moon, you have this incredible person in the light. There's certain people that survive, and no one knows why. So this is it right here. There's no hypothesis. There's no fear. There's no anything. It's all been proven by me, by Jan, by Shane, by Marie, by Christina, by Jules right here on this radio show. So many people in the early days. It's all been done. The PhD was done. The greatest PhD in human history. Oh, I did it. Right down to watching the thing fucking get leukemia and survival. This has nothing to do with fear. This has to do with the reality of survival. This has to do with the reality of our earth. This has to do with the reality of our children, our grandchildren. Fact. There's no dogma here. There's no hypothesis here. There's no commentary. Documented fucking fact. And you can't handle the truth? That's not my problem. That's your problem. So, stand tuning. We'll keep at this, documenting history in this horrible event. And all you fear porn fuckers that are deflecting, why don't you just call the NSA and see if they'll give you a check? Call the nuclear cartel like they did up in Canada. They'll give you a check. They'll pay you. Call Edelman in Calgary. They'll pay you to do what you're doing, but you're doing it for free. Fucking lunatic.
All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. They'll be calling you a radical. Twin Gate, 311, whatever you want to call it. I call it Pacific